Perfect. And we've got our state lead, Anne, on from the state of Utah, who is the master agreement holder for this portfolio. So Anne will be joining us and Abby to answer questions. As you guys have questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to post those in the chat and Abby will be monitoring that. We'll make sure we get those answered for you. If we end up running out of time, we will definitely follow up with you folks who we don't get your answers or your answers questioned, your questions answered. Good thing it's Friday. And with that, Michelle, we have Michelle Halverson with Lowe's and her team on the line. So I'm going to turn it over to you and let you introduce yourself and your team.
Okay, awesome. Appreciate it, Megan, Abby, and Anne. My name is Michelle Halverson. I'm the senior manager of our government strategic accounts team at Lowe's. Really excited to go over the program today. Thank you all for joining us. I was thinking this morning, we've had a NASPO contract now for over 10 years. I think it's actually been 13. Have been partnering with NASPO for a while now, and probably been working with many of you that are on the call. So we appreciate that. But today is going to give us an opportunity to review the program, to go through maybe some things that you weren't aware of, some new benefits or enhancements that we have about the program, and then also hopefully spark interest if there's any people on from states that we don't have connected yet. I'm not going to do all the talking. I'm going to introduce my team and then have them go through everything. Perfect. So I'll introduce the team and then I'll have them go through the information. So we'll start off with Ron Manning. He's our strategic account manager that covers our Lowe's North Division. That's basically from Maine down to Virginia and then over to Wisconsin. Jason Finch covers our South Division. Basically, that is North Carolina down to Florida, over Tennessee, Kentucky, down, and then half of Texas, so the Houston area. And then Gary Turnage is our SAM for the West, and he basically covers everything else. So 23 states west of the Mississippi is his area. So I am going to turn it over to them, and Ron, we'll start off with you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And for your West Coast and the gentleman from Alaska, good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present our Lowe's Pro program for state government to the NASPO organization and to our customers and our potential customers. What I'd like to do, back one slide, please, because the first slide shows the agenda for the day.
Yeah, I tried to go back. I can't.
As Michelle mentioned, my name is Ron Manning. I am the Strategic Government Account Manager for the North Division. I have worked with NASPO for the 3 years I've been at Lowe's and for many years in the industry experience that I have. So very familiar with our NASPO program and how effective it can be. What I'd like to cover today, or what we plan to cover today, is a couple of things. Talk a little bit about the program, the NASPO contract, and how it provides a compliant statewide contract for you statewide stakeholders. Talk a little bit about the program support that we offer, both with our government team, as well as the support that you're going to get through our Lowe's stores, our Lowe's Pro desks, and the field sales team that we have enhanced and added additional resources to support statewide contracts. Going to do a little bit of a dive into some of the product categories that are most effective for this statewide contract program. Talk a little bit about our Paint Rewards program, which highlights one of our special services offered through our Sherwin-Williams Valspar program, specifically private branded for Lowe's as the Valspar paint product. And I think that these are the kind of things that we want to highlight to you that are more enhanced capabilities that we've invested in to make this program more effective for your statewide contract. We're also going to talk about the payment methods and the way that we can set up processes to be able to support any states that any of the three payment methods that a state might want to use with us or an agency might want to use with us. And then we're going to talk a little bit about things like delivery and emergency response support that we can offer you. So that's going to be our agenda, what we'd like to cover through the three strategic account managers and through Michelle as the leader of our program. This slide here highlights how not only is Lowe's a national supplier, but the enhancements we've made to our program have really positioned us to be a really strong local supplier that can support all the political subdivisions as well as the state agencies who want to use the NASPO program. We currently have 40,000 plus products available to you, and we're enhancing our program with additional services as we have evolved, as we have supported this contract and be able to offer more capabilities and more services that Lowe's has available for you. Next slide, please. Or I'm going to be presenting 4 slides with 1 slide showing.
Megan, maybe I can give up control and you can.
Well, I'm going to keep going for the sake of time,
Yep.
and hopefully a
Yep.
slide deck can catch up to me. So one of the things that we have within our NASPO state program is a point of sale discount offering a 7% discount for you as a NASPO statewide contract holder. 7% discount off of all purchases made at Lowe's. We have the ability to do additional savings for you as well, utilizing what we call our VSP quote process. VSP stands for Volume Savings Program Quote Process, and that can add additional cost savings to you. The way to work a VSP quote with us is either through the cart that you develop when you're on our Lowes.com online site. You can work with our local sales team. Thank you. Thank you. You can work with our local sales team and or you could work with our pro desks. And I'd like to take a minute to talk about the pro desks at the Lowe's store. As we've evolved this B2B program, we've taken our Lowe's offering and enhanced it far beyond the standard consumer or DIY customer experience in a Lowe's store. The Lowe's Pro Services program highlights the use of our Pro Desk. The Pro Desk is usually located on the left side of a store in the lumber and building materials area with a special Pro Desk serviced by Pro Sales Supervisors and Pro Sales Managers who are very familiar with our government programs and our B2B experience. They'll know things like most government customers are tax exempt. They'll be able to know the techniques to use the key fobs that are used to make sure that you trigger your 7% discount when you're doing a Lowe's in-store shopping experience. They can also offer you VSP quoting that I mentioned, where we're able to take a building materials list that you put together, run it through our VSP quote process and algorithm that will offer you additional savings. So if you had a $2,000 materials list, they could run that materials list through our VSP quote process, potentially save you up to 10% or more, and that $2,000 materials list would immediately offer you $200 in savings and bring that materials list down to $1,800. It's things like that that we are enhancing with our program to make your experience with Lowe's better. They can also do things like any special ordering and or staging or consolidating your purchases so that you can very easily work with us to be able to do that. The Lowe's stores hours usually go from 6 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. at night. So you have the ability to do all kinds of hours of shopping experience through your Lowe's experience. The Pro Desk itself usually runs from 6 to 6, but we certainly have the opportunity to support you for off hours too, whether that's emergency needs and or people who might be shopping or getting some products for the next day at the end of their busy day. We also have enhanced programs that are listed as the bottom couple of bullet points here on this slide, including the ability to review order purchase history and some techniques and tools to do recurring purchases, as well as develop catalogs and or product lists that you can save. And of course, we are enhancing our mobile app for in-store checkout and in-store checking of inventory. The next slide, please. Okay, what I'd like to highlight here, and I think this is a really important point for everybody on this call to understand. Oftentimes, this program is kind of categorized as an MRO program. And what I'd like to highlight is the fact that although we can support all kinds of different MRO products, the top or main categories that most of our government customers purchase from us include the following: lumber, building materials, appliances, hardware, and paint. Those are the top 5 categories that most government entities purchase from our Lowe's Pro Government program. Now, we can do other products: lighting, cleaning supplies, safety products, tools, all kinds of different things like that. But I just wanted to make sure that you were able to understand that this program is more for building materials and appliances and lumber and products like that than what you might consider or traditionally think about from the MRO categories. So I just hope that that helps you understand how we can support you in the better ways that we can manage our program for you. I'll now turn the agenda over to Gary Turnage.
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon, everyone. I am going to highlight really the benefits of the NASPO contract. The contract number is MA 3875, and it offers 2 options. The most common option is the 7% in-store discount. So every purchase that your employee makes in a Lowe's store, if they have a key fob, they will get a 7% discount. Or if the item is on sale for greater than 7%, they'll get the greater of the 2 discounts. If the item is on sale for 5%, let's say they scan their key fob, they would get an additional 2% off. So that key fob is the key to getting the in-store discount. Most of the in-store purchases that we see are done on state-issued or agency-issued P cards. And so those are your MasterCards, Visas, Discover, American Express cards that your agency issues to employees. We do also have the ability to offer a Lowe's receivables account, which Jason's going to cover later. The other portion of the contract that's available to select states, and those states are identified down at the bottom, you can get a better discount if you buy online. So we offer between a 7 and a 20% discount for those agencies that are able to purchase online. And you can buy online, pick up in store, you can buy online and have it delivered. The states that are listed at the top of the screen are currently set up for in-store only. And again, there's some duplicity down at the bottom. So make sure that your state is labeled appropriately there for us. So a discount example, just to tell you on the right there, if you were to buy that flat panel light, in store, it retails for $108.98 with a 7% key fob discount. The price goes down to $101.35. So if your employee has to go into the store, use a key fob, they're going to pay $101 for that. If they're able to buy online, if you're one of the states that allows online purchasing, that discount, the price shows online as NASPO contract, the price is $92.63. So that's a 15% discount versus the 7. We have the state of Washington Parks Department has many examples of this where they enjoy better discounts when they're buying online versus in store. But again, you have to follow whatever guidelines your particular state directs. Next slide. So these are the key fobs and stickers. So a best method, again, the state of Washington Parks Department, the P card administrator has a stack of these and basically uses the P card sticker, which you can see labeled on the picture on the right. The sticker is put on the back of the agency issued P card. So the employee doesn't have to carry around a key fob plus their agency issued credit card. So with the sticker being on the card, your employee's more likely to remember to scan the discount code at the register to get their 7% off. If you don't scan the barcode, you're not contract compliant. And honestly, the key fobs scanning is probably the biggest obstacle to the program. So stickers work well for the agency's users who are using Lowe's frequently. And so I recommend to all agencies, whatever employees are going into Lowe's on a regular basis, put a sticker on their card and improve your scan rate and contract compliance. And with that, I'm going to move to the next slide. So Ron mentioned value savings program earlier. This is an example here of an order. You can see it's a market basket order. It's not all one item, but value savings programs are available for either any order over $1,500. You key in, and this is a tool that's available online for you to use, or you can go to the Pro Desk to get a quote. But you can see on here in this example, because this order was over $1,500, we're offering a 13.6% savings, which is better than the 7% savings that you would get if you walked into a store and used a key fob. So we're doing everything we can to try to maximize the value of the Lowe's program, be contract compliant, and help you stretch your budget. The next program is Paint Rewards. Paint Rewards is signed up on Lowe's.com. So if you want to opt in for Paint Rewards, you can do that on the Lowe's.com website. Ron, Jason, or I are happy to help any organization that wants to sign up for this. The real benefit of the Paint Rewards program is it really helps stretch your facilities team's budget. So for every $5,000 an agency spends on paint, we give them $1,000 Lowe's credit, which is used in Lowe's for anything that particular agency might need. And so, again, the facilities departments love the program because it does help their budget or help them stretch their budget. When you think about who's buying paint, it's generally the facilities and maintenance departments, and they're buying paint from somewhere. If it's acceptable on your state's particular contract, you can buy paint from Lowe's. Please do, and help them stretch their budget. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jason.
Thanks so much, Gary. Appreciate it. And team, just thank you so much for having us today. Jason Finch, Cover Government South. Really excited to present this to you. So to this point, hopefully what you've seen is flexibility, customization to your specific agency, right? With the overall goal of compliance, cost savings, and absolutely zero compromise on customer service. So with regard to POs, the answer absolutely is always yes. Lowe's accepts all purchase orders, and here's how we're able to do that. So we have started the Lowe's Pro Supply Accounts Receivable, which is our Lowe's House account. Very simple, Government terms and conditions stripped down specifically with government agencies created in mind specifically for your teams. That in-house account invoicing through Lowe's so that we can invoice your team as you need rather than maybe receiving like a monthly statement. A lot of the government agencies specifically ask for invoicing. We can absolutely do that. It also allows for the 5% point of sale discount, which is very important. Above and beyond that, you've got the key fobs, and as Gary and Ron touched on, the volume savings. That is one type of option, and that is a non-credit based house account. The second option is our tried and true Lowe's commercial accounts receivable. We have had it for years and years. Government letterhead request is all you need to set up to apply for that. Invoicing is through a third-party company. You will also get that 5% point of sale discount. Does come with reduced delivery fees, as does the Lowe's house account. And then the option for in-store lookup where no cards are required. So buyers can come into the stores and they can look it up just simply by showing their state ID, maybe have a purchase order. However you choose to set up those rules, we can look up there at the register. Next slide, please. All right, delivery and shipping. So fulfillment can be done a number of different ways, whether it be box truck, flatbed, discounted deliveries for all government agencies, regardless, parcel shipping. We've got direct ship. We've got, we can actually do same day shipping that we were really excited just to roll out recently if the need be, and there is an expedited need. Deliveries outside 70-mile radius. As you can see, it's going to ship from the closest store. So shipping orders over $45 for parcel shipping, and that's free. Next slide, please. Disaster emergency management. Very, very near and dear to Lowe's heart. We have an industry-leading command center that really leads the corporate way, and I will very confidently say we probably have the top command centers of all corporate that you will work with, period. This is very near and dear to from our executives all the way down to our store associates. We've got a fully staffed command center. I'm actually a captain on the command center team. We can bring in trucks and support you guys, because at the end of the day, what we've learned about government agencies, what is really important to them is supporting their residents, right? So I think about just, personally speaking, what just occurred with Burrell. We worked with Texas Department of Emergency Management, the city of Houston, all the way down to Lake Jackson. We were there a week before the storm, and we are still, matter of fact, I just got back from Houston. So not only do we focus on pre-emergency, but we focus all the way through and continue. It doesn't end just because the storm blows through, as you guys know. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be, being in the hurricane belt. That's obviously a major focus for me. But emergency can be anything. We look at what happened in Mississippi with the water issue that went down in Jackson, Mississippi. Lowe's was able to respond to that. We just recently had a wind event. I believe it was in Iowa or Nebraska. We just had a massive wind event that came up out of nowhere. So Lowe's is absolutely here to support you. We have wind trucks, power trucks, however we need to support your agency. Next slide, please. So how do we do going forward? Ordering key fobs, very, very simple. And let me change my right quick. Bear with me because it's going. There we go. So ordering key fobs, very simple. Lowe's.com/NASPO. Okay. And that's where you would go for in-store purchases to order the fobs that we've been speaking about. Ensure the fob is scanned for every purchase in the store to remain contract compliant, and ensure they get that 7%. That's key, team, right? And as Gary mentioned, it can be as simple as just putting that sticker on the back of the buyers, the end users' P cards, to ensure that it's scanned with each and every purchase and make sure that it's compliant, getting the discount. Work with the local stores, pro teams on any orders over 1,500. We strongly encourage shopping smarter. We train our pro associates when they see that $1,500 mark. Very important that you're offering volume savings. It should see it every single time. Shop smart is very important because at the end of the day, it could be thousands that you all could be saving. Online purchasing, we mentioned the state there. Create a Lowe's.com business account, select new government nonprofit and NASPO from the contract drop down. 7 to 20%, really industry leading as far as retail goes. Very simple to do. Again, you just select the NASPO drop down if you've already got a contract set up with us. If you already have a Lowe's.com account and is not tied to the NASPO contract, please email governmentsupport@Lowe's.com. We've got an excellent, top-notch interior team that can support you all. And then obviously you have us in the field. And then last but not least, if you don't have a NASPO participating addendum with Lowe's, we'd love to set one up for you all. So this call is just the kickoff. It is not the end. It is absolutely the kickoff. If you would like to know more, we would definitely love to hear from you. Governmentsupport@Lowe's.com. Please reach out. We would love the opportunity to be able to serve your team. So any questions?
We did get one question earlier, and I will hop in and share that.
I saw that question, Abby. It was something about is VSP quoting available for agencies or all customers? The answer is VSP quoting is available for every customer we have. It's part of our process. It drives additional cost savings for you. And it's our way of trying to show you that we're trying to be a cost savings driven supplier for you.
Thank you, Ron.
Jason, you want to handle the billing question?
Let me see if I can grab it. Hold on one sec, please, sir.
I'm sorry, guys. Before you go into that next question, Maureen has did ask in the chat, but is VSP for the states versus VSP for an agency in the state?
I don't understand the question, Maureen. It's available for everybody.
So most likely it would be a state agency requesting the VSP. Unless the state was buying something themselves directly, then we could do it for the state also. If that helps.
So why don't we go to that billing question? So basically we have 3 billing payment methods available under the NASPO contract program. Some states issue P cards, statewide P cards, like they do in the state of West Virginia. And that P card is the easiest solution for any of us state customers to go in and purchase with Lowe's, either online and or in a store. The alternative methods, if people don't use a P card program and want to use and pay with a PO, is what Jason covered in the slide. The first one method is to set up an LPS, credit services account, which would be an open billing account, and you would be able to purchase and bill to that credit line that would be set up in-house through Lowe's Pro Supply, the back-end support to our Lowe's Pro program. And then the third method would be an LCA, Lowe's commercial account, which is set up through our third-party partner, Synchrony Financial. And you set up an LCA account, and then you can bill to that credit line set up with Synchrony Financial via the LCA process. So we've been enhancing our program to make this more flexible and more viable for you. And we follow those 3 payment methods with our state contract programs.
This question just went to the host and panelists and not to everyone. So that everyone on the call knows what it is.
Yep.
Who triggers an emergency for the state to engage Lowe's?
Yeah, so great question. So our Lowe's Command Center actually remains active 365, right? So they're always active. Whether or not Lowe's will choose to go into what we refer to as full activation, like a situation like Burl, or we've got the tropical storm coming up that obviously targeting right at Florida coming up this weekend. I live in Tampa, so I'm keeping a close eye on it. But we are always operating at the command center level. So regardless of, even if your need, I mentioned Jackson, Mississippi, when they went through their water ordeal, you're talking it happened to one city within one state. Mississippi's got the state contract, has the NASPO Cooperative Center part of this. They were able to reach out and we were able to respond. So you will have that type of emergency dedication 365. That's always going to be available. And then whether or not we go into full activation, just depending on the need. So hopefully that answers.
Hey, Jason, I'll add on there. So again, I cover the 23 states west of the Mississippi. Oregon's being kind of ravaged by wildfires right now. The Department of Emergency Management in the state has requested VSP pricing, as we mentioned earlier, for solar powered generators. And so we provided them that quote earlier this week, and they are doing what they need to do for approvals. And again, we have delivery available for those solar powered generators within a 3-hour time frame. And it's wouldn't be the same for everyone, but the reason it's so convenient for Oregon is there's a warehouse with those generators sitting right there in their state. So within 3 hours of us getting that order, we could have those generators delivered to whatever delivery dock they want those generators delivered to.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And I'll just real quick to touch on that. So we actually have warehouses staged across the U.S. Some are wind warehouses, some are flood warehouses, some are both. And they're staged all across the U.S. in addition to our distribution centers and things like that. So as Gary mentioned, we focus on hours. We understand that, again, you're trying to take care of your residents. We want to get you taken care of as fast as we possibly can.
I'll add that the emergency response program in the command center that Jason referred to, it's our way of triggering a quick supply chain reinforcement for you. It taps into the ability to get scaled product out quicker to you so that you can address the emergency that you're dealing with. It could be trucks of water. It could be the generators Gary mentioned. It's our ability to tap into our supply chain system to help you in your emergency.
We have another question here from Joshua Hartman. Do you need a government ID?
So what you need to get a key fob is there was a web link in the slide deck, or you can go to Lowe's.com, type in NASPO, and you can order key fobs on the Lowe's website. You can order as many key fobs as you need. Once you have that key fob in your possession, you really don't need a government ID, but you would need some form of payment to be able to check out in a Lowe's store, whether it's your agency issued P card or one of the 2 Lowe's accounts that have been mentioned earlier.
And go ahead.
I was going to say, there was a question too, that if a construction project to a contractor was awarded, can the contractor purchase those items? And that is really up to the state. However, we need to be very careful about that, because if they move on to another construction project that they have outside of a state contract, then they have the opportunity then to use that key fob. So I would say, Joel, no, because we need to be very careful. And this also is not for personal use. It's strictly for state use only.
But Joel, what we would also do is we could work with our other pro partners who might be in the construction program, and we would be able to help that contractor get the benefit of a Lowe's Pro program. Not as good as a government program. We'll tell you that. The government program is the best and most competitive program we offer our customers, but we would be able to help that construction company gain and align to a program within another part of Lowe's Pro.
And I would just like to add, I think this kind of goes back, kind of both of the last two questions that Joshua asked and Joel. While you don't necessarily need a government ID, your state would need to sign a participating addendum with Lowe's to take advantage of this program. So as with any other NASPO portfolio, that's still part of the process. And it looks like we have about 4 more minutes here. I know Maureen has sent in a couple other questions. And Maureen, we can try and answer some of those here, but we can also set up another call with you to get into the specifics for California. Okay, we'll do that.
Yep, Michelle and I would love to join that call if needed. So I cover the state of California. Michelle's obviously an expert with the NASPO contract and negotiating that. So happy to have her join.
I will send a follow-up email with Gary, Michelle, and all of the folks to get that scheduled. Can we quickly talk about just ordering a stack of stickers, and if you can just
Easily
do that?
doable. Yep. So as I said, the state of Washington Parks Department orders those. She knows when the P cards are expiring, and so she's got 230 maintenance workers that work for the Parks Department. Every one of those Parks Department employees are going into Lowe's to buy something, whether it's a wood to repair a picnic bench, paint to paint a bridge, or something remodeling the inside of a cabin. And so every one of their employees get a sticker on the back because they are all going into Lowe's and they're using the NASPO stickers, excuse me, versus the key fob. So
Gary, question in the chat. How do we support order fulfillment for Alaska?
Great question, and I did not know the answer prior to going to Alaska earlier this year. But we have 5 or 6 stores in the state. Our stores up there do, and I'm forgetting how it's referred to, but they will basically load a cargo container with product and ship it to whatever location that you need that truck delivered to. The pro desks in Alaska are all familiar with that process. Again, I didn't know, having never been to Alaska prior to this year, but there are unpaved roads and roads that are, I'm going to say, very rural with grass and a dirt trail that we deliver product on. So we need the address or the proximity of where it's going, and the Lowe's Pro Desk would help you with that.
I'd just like to cover one more point. So if you're currently on this call and you don't have a state contract program with us, the Lowe's government team, Michelle, Gary, myself, and Jason, we would really be interested in talking to you about bringing our program to your state. I know somebody from Delaware was on at the previous NASPO conferences. I've had discussions with the NASPO, with the Delaware procurement director. And I think that we have a fantastic opportunity. Our programs are getting better and better. We're investing more and more resources, and we're trying very, very hard with the experience of the government team to really apply and improve everything that we're doing related to our NASPO state contracts. So please consider that as a potential viable program. Also, we have Lowe's stores in just about in every state. And so we have an economic impact in your state, and we'd like to be able to make sure that we provide a level of service and support to that as well.
And then something else to add, Ron, is for those that we have PAs with already, those states, like Gary was just in Utah with Ann and did a presentation for that state specifically. So if any of you would like us to do that for all of your agencies, we're more than happy to do that and feel it would be very beneficial.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Lowe's, so much, the whole team, and Anne, and all of the NASPO folks for hopping on. Thank you, everybody who has attended. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or anyone on the call as you heard their roles. We are on the Walk-in Building Supplies NASPO website. I can drop that quickly in the link as well. I dropped a couple other links in the website too, as we were talking about that, links in the chat too, as we were talking about those. So please reach out to us with any questions, or if you want to have a follow-up meeting to specifically talk about your state with the appropriate Lowe's folks and Anne, we're happy to meet and discuss any questions, concerns, anything you have there to help walk you through that process.